Hi everyone, it's Alyssa. I just wanted to go over the Blu-ray releases for September 5th. So the first movie is Rough Night, starring Scarlett Johansson, Kate McKinnon, and Zoe Kravitz. This is a comedy that is about a group of women who go to a bachelorette party, and one of the women ends up accidentally killing the male stripper. Now this story is a direct ripoff of Very Bad Things, which was not a very popular film when it came out. It came out in the 90s or the early 2000s, I can't remember, but it is the exact same storyline. But Very Bad Things was much more of a dark comedy, whereas this seems like a raunchy, lighthearted comedy about killing someone. So perfect. The second movie coming out is Megan Levy, and that stars not Kate McKinnon, which was what I was going to say, but Kate Mara, in a true story about a Marine who works with a canine unit with the dog Rex, and ultimately it's her quest to be able to adopt Rex after he's retired from working in the Marines. This looks like the best bet for the week. It looks really genuine and heartfelt. I know that I am going to be crying and welling up the entire way through, and there's definitely a moth that keeps flying around this whole day in this room. Can't get rid of it. But it definitely looks like a great realistic drama. The third one coming out is All Eyes All Eyes on Me, which is a biopic about Tupac Shakur and his life. It stars Demetrius Shipp. It got okay reviews. I always think it's a bit of a problem when you look at a person's entire life rather than focusing on one element, so it starts to kind of follow the conventions of a biopic. And then the last movie is a French horror film called Raw, which I am so excited to see. It looks really, really good. It's about this girl who's a vegan, and she ends up going to veterinary school, and part of the hazing at this school is that you're forced to eat raw meat. So she's forced to eat like liver and all this stuff, and as a result, something kind of unhinges in her, and she realizes she needs more and more meat in whatever way she can get. So it looks really good. I haven't seen that many French horror films before, but I have seen a few, and the ones I have seen are really good. They're usually psychologically based, and I can't wait to see this movie. So for this week in news, there are two stories that I thought really stood out to me. The first is that they're going to do an all-female cast for Lord of the Flies and Picture of Dorian Gray, and the other is that they're going to make a Joker origin story, and that they're trying to get Leonardo DiCaprio. So I just read an article in the Hollywood Reporter about them doing an all-female cast for Lord of the Flies. Now, Lord of the Flies, the purpose of that book is that it is about masculinity. That's the point of the novel, and what happens when masculinity isn't checked by a culture. And I think by making it an all-female cast, you are taking away the entire purpose and intent of the book. So I'm not quite sure why they're doing this except as a gimmick. And what makes it even worse is that the two people who are directing the movie, and I think writing the story as well, are male. And they said that they're going to keep it the exact same story from the novel. They're just going to make them girls. Now, the psychology of girls is totally different than the psychology of boys. And so if you're going to do that all-female reboot, then you need to take into account the psychology of the girls. And just doing it almost like a shot-for-shot remake with girls instead of boys makes absolutely no sense, and is a little bit offensive. I think it's really strange. And it's not that I'm against these gender swapping stories. Sometimes I think if it makes sense for the story, I'll definitely watch it. I thought Ghostbusters was a good idea, and I stand by that, but the movie itself just wasn't written very well, and it wasn't that funny. I am kind of excited to see the reboot of Ocean's 11. And I'm actually really excited for the Picture of Dorian Gray, because to me that's a story that makes sense to have a female protagonist, since it's all about vanity and egotism and how the character doesn't want to age. And I think it's a story that's still really relevant in this world that, you know, so many women want to change the way they look. Everyone gets Botox, and this would kind of maybe put a mirror up to our own culture. So in this case, to me, it makes sense to reboot The Picture of Dorian Gray, which was never actually a classic film. They have done versions of that novel, but nothing was ever very popular. They were always kind of like bad remakes. So this could be the first actually good quality telling of The Picture of Dorian Gray. And what I'm even more excited about is that it is a female director who is directing this. So I'm very torn with this gender swapping. Sometimes I think it works, sometimes it doesn't. You should definitely leave a comment below saying what side that you are on. I would love to hear. The other story I thought was really interesting is that they're trying to get Leonardo DiCaprio to play the Joker. Jared Leto is not very happy about this. He's already gone to Warner Brothers and said that he didn't think it was a good idea to have two Jokers around. Well, it doesn't seem like that matters. It looks like they're going ahead with the movie, whether or not Leonardo DiCaprio is attached to it. But I thought Warner Brothers did a really sketchy thing by approaching Martin Scorsese first and trying to have him produce the film, because they know that if they get Martin Scorsese, they have a much better shot of getting Leonardo DiCaprio. But I really don't think that Leo is going to take this role. He steered clear of these kinds of characters. He's never been in comic book movies or big action movies. He's getting older. He's not going to want to kind of ruin his career, even though I think the Joker is a great character. And if it went in a very dark direction, then I think it could absolutely work. But I'm curious to see what you guys say about it. Do you think it's a good idea to have the origin story? Should Leo be playing the Joker? And do you think there's something going on with Jared Leto? Because he always seems to be complaining to me ever since he's gotten the Joker character. He didn't think he had enough screen time in Suicide Squad. I just feel like he's always complaining. I don't know. I used to like him. He's not my favorite anymore. And plus, he doesn't age. Like, why does he not age? He still looks like Jordan Catalano from My So-Called Life. I don't get it. So thank you guys so much for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I hope that you have a great day. Bye.